Hello and welcome to our Washington, D.C. trip for the Associate Accelerated Program at IUTech. Hopefully you've learned some interesting U.S. history that you can now see and relate to in the capital. I'm going to show you some places we will visit. D.C. is such a fascinating place. It is a city of great history, monuments, museums, and the seat of tremendous global power. There is always more going on than meets the eye. For instance, security in the city is extreme but often unnoticed except for all the metal detectors and x-ray machines to enter government buildings. Don't mess around at security checkpoints. Security is serious and they will not tolerate any joking around. Carry as little as possible and wear good shoes to walk many miles on this trip. This can't be emphasized enough. When we visit the Institute of World Politics, where CIA and other government intelligence officers are trained. In the past, the speaker stated there were over 10,000 spies from around the world in D.C. on any given day. I find that rather amazing and somewhat unsettling. As you can see, there's so much to do and visit. We'll be visiting our Indiana congressional representatives and senators. Do you know who is currently in office? We will also visit many government buildings, monuments, memorials, museums, and other fascinating locations. I hope to give you a little overview here. We'll visit some of our congressional representatives and senators, such as Representative Todd Rokita and Senator Dan Coates, probably in their offices in the congressional office buildings on the Hill. Take a little time to familiarize yourself with issues currently being debated in Congress and bring educated questions to ask. Please be courteous even if you do not agree with the political views of these leaders. They are being very generous to fit us into their extremely busy schedules. You might ask them what a typical day is like on the Hill, the site of the Capitol building where they meet. We'll take a tour of the Capitol building and view a great video presentation on the history and building of our nation's capital. If we have time and tickets are available, we'll try to visit the Senate or House chambers where you can watch Congress in session from a balcony above. Sometimes it is interesting to see what is being debated. Other times people just talk a lot to fill time. C-SPAN televises most of this also in congressional committee meetings. Hopefully we'll have time to visit C-SPAN as well, right near Capitol Hill. We'll also go on monuments and a memorials tour. Dr. Baith does a great job at pointing out key historical themes and events related to the sites and things to observe on location. This is one of my favorite parts of the trip. Prepare to walk a lot and take notes and pictures to reflect on later for your classwork. We'll visit the monuments and memorials of several key presidents in history, including George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, and Martin Luther King. After these, we'll visit several of the war memorials as time allows. These are close to one another on the mall near the Lincoln Memorial and include the Vietnam, Korean, and World War II memorials. Please be respectful of others visiting these sites and do not climb on any part of the memorials. Some of them visiting are veterans and family members of lost loved ones. It can be a very moving and emotional experience. Maybe you have a friend or family member that died in a war whose name you can locate at one of the memorials. If time allows, the Arlington Cemetery is beautiful and a moving place to visit. Besides the thousands of graves marked with white crosses, the changing of the guard at the tomb of the unknown soldier is very interesting to observe. We'll walk by the White House, which you can observe from the fence outlining the property. Of course, this is where the President lives and has his office, known as the Oval Office in the West Wing of the White House. Limited tours are available but have to be planned months in advance, and background checks must be cleared. It is a lengthy process, with security being very tight, as you can imagine. Maybe you can see a few snipers on the roof even. There are hundreds of security people and cameras all around D.C., and especially here. Do not mess around or do anything that might even appear threatening. As time allows, you also have free time to explore some of the Smithsonian museums. It is actually now a family of museums on the mall which houses several different types of places, including Native American history and culture, African American history and culture, science, air and space exhibits, American history, and the National Art Gallery, botanical gardens, and other topics of interest. Take some time beforehand to investigate where you might want to visit, since there is too much to see in limited time. Well, thank you for taking the time to briefly explore Washington, D.C. with me. I hope it creates great anticipation and a desire to learn more about American history, government, and sites to visit. Remember to bring your walking shoes. Everyone is always exhausted at the end of the trip, but have a great time. Thank you.